Good afternoon or good morning, depending on where you are joining us from today. Welcome to today's Zenoti live learning session. We are really excited to introduce you all to the latest benchmark data and industry trends that we have as part of our 2024 Beauty and Wellness Benchmark Report. This is Norm Schrager from Zenoti. I should mention that. We just want to wait about a minute or two so that folks who have registered for today's session can jump in and join us before we begin the program. So I'm going to mute my mic just for a moment or two. I thank you all for joining us, and we'll be right back to get the program started. Thank you. Hi again. If you've just jumped into the room here, I just want to welcome you. This is Norm Schrager with Zenoti. You are in the right place for top 5 beauty and wellness growth trends. We've taken these trends directly from data that we've culled and analyzed as part of our annual benchmark report. Just want to give another 30 seconds to a minute for anyone that's still coming into the room to join us for the session that has registered. I hope everyone's having a wonderful day out there. As I mentioned, good afternoon or good morning, depending on where you are. We are 1 p.m. Eastern and 10 a.m. Pacific right now. And just getting a look at the time, I want to be cognizant of everybody's time that you've taken out of your day. So why don't we get started? Hi again, everyone. Thank you for joining us for the top 5 beauty and wellness growth trends. We're super excited to introduce to you, and you are the first group to see this year's benchmark data, and from that data, industry trends that are really shaping what we see in beauty and wellness across all the business segments today. So here's what you can expect. We'll do a little bit about benchmark data, why it's important, and of course, we'll actually show you data points. We're looking across 8 metrics in the benchmark report this year. From that data, we've identified business trends that we think are most important for folks to know and maybe respond to at your own businesses. That includes understanding where some low-cost acquisition channels for new guests and new clients are coming from, and we're happy to share that with you. And along the way, conversation and questions. If we hang on here just a moment, Lauren's our producer today. You will see up at the top right a question box in your GoToWebinar panel. Please feel free to pop that open, ask questions throughout the presentation. Our experts will have those questions, and we hope to leave enough time at the end to answer them live. Any question that doesn't get answered or responded to, we will make sure that we get out to you individually to get those questions answered. Also along the way, if you would like to have a customized review of the benchmark data and how it compares to what's going on in your business, some recommendations along those lines, feel free to just leave that as a note in the questions as well, and we will have someone contact you there as well. Great, thank you. I'd like to introduce who these experts are today. Guys, if you would turn on your mics and come on camera. We have Courtney Anderson, who is the founder and owner of Spa Trouvé, and we're going to learn about Courtney and Spa Trouvé so you understand the context of where she's coming from. Hello, Courtney.
Hi.
And Leslie Silvestri is the Director of Customer Success at Zenoti and works with people like Courtney and businesses like Spa Trouvé all day long, all week long, knows how the business is running, knows what's working, knows what's not working. Leslie, hello.
Oh,
Great to have you guys. Let's first give some context with Courtney joining us. Here you see some amazing information about Spa Trouvé, 6 locations of med spa services throughout Utah, and awards and accolades. And Courtney, I'll drop out for a bit if you tell us about Spa Trouvé.
sure. Yeah, Spa Trouvé started back in 2011 down in Orem, Utah, and we've been really fortunate to grow to 6 locations the past 13 years. And we've been through an entire rebrand through that process. And yeah, like Norm said, we've been able to accomplish a lot. We have an incredible team. We're full service. We offer laser hair removal, Botox, medical grade skincare treatments, cool sculpting. We're a top 10 Botox provider in Utah and a top 10 cool sculpting national account. And yeah, I'm just really, really proud of Spa Trouvé and what we've been able to accomplish. And I do love to coach and mentor. I wanted to throw that out there. So any of you that are watching afterwards, if you want some mentoring or coaching, I'm your girl. I'm here for you. So just wanted to
Love
throw
it.
that out
Love it. And clearly the background to back it up. So there you go.
there.
Thanks, Courtney. I wanted
Yeah.
to I wanted to start this off by getting right into some benchmark data. And this is what we're talking about. This is the first data point that we have in the report. It goes right to the heart of the matter. What's the annual revenue across all of the segments that Zenoti does business with and that Zenoti partners with and consults with? So as you can see, we separate this, and if you've seen last year's report, it's the same in terms of how we hit these benchmarks. The top benchmark considered a top earner is the top 10% in the industry, then top 25%, and then what you would consider benchmark data for the average business. So one of the things we mentioned before we move on to a couple of other segments, we're just going to hit on this real quickly because we've got more to talk about this topic, is memberships. And Courtney, when we were looking at this, you jumped right out and said, "Yep, you can see the difference in revenue earning spas between membership-based spas and ones that aren't." And you said memberships has really been a focal point for Spa Trouvé for a while.
Yes, we started with a membership, a laser hair removal membership, way back in 2011. And really, we started as a laser clinic. And what I learned early on as a business owner is the membership became my residual income that really helped me, be able to gauge how much I could bank on for rent and how much I can bank on for payroll. And I could kind of monetize how many memberships I needed in order to secure those things. So it was really, really, really beneficial. And as injectables came out, it was kind of that same thought process. We need a membership for injectables and skincare because that membership guarantees loyalty. And that loyalty brings that client back in more frequently than not having a membership. And like I said before, it provides that residual back end income that is so imperative, especially when you're starting out as a new business owner. So I am pro membership. It is definitely, catapulted us to be one of those top earners. And I can't imagine being stressed about cash and not being
Right.
able to rely on that residual income from the memberships.
Awesome. We are, as I mentioned, it is part of one of the current trends. We will talk more about memberships with Courtney and Leslie a little later in the program. But the next slide just wraps up to show you the other segments that we addressed. I think the only segment that didn't make it onto this slide is waxing centers, but you will find that segment within the report as well. So why are we looking at benchmark data when you grow? It gives you an opportunity, and that was a great example, starting with revenue. It gives you an opportunity to see where you land and how your business compares. And as I mentioned, when we're focusing on trends today with our experts, that lets you know what's going on in the rest of the industry, sort of a state of beauty and wellness, and gives you a greater opportunity to have some confidence in making decisions along those trends and what you want to do strategically. We love this quote from Dave Crisali about avoiding internal benchmarks and making sure that you know what's going on industry wide to be able to take strides in that direction. Leslie, you wanted to talk about, and we can keep this up, thanks, Lauren, but you wanted to talk about when we started talking about the value of industry-wide benchmarks. Can you tell us a little bit about what you were mentioning about dashboards?
Yeah, absolutely. So, what we've brought into Zenoti in the last year is what we call the signals for adoption. And it's a dashboard based on your credentials when you log in. And it's really insights for growth. Now, I know Krisali's quote was about benchmarking against yourself and avoiding that. But what it actually does is at the top, it'll say industry or companies like yours, they've added in this feature Why don't you? So something like memberships, if you're not taking advantage of those memberships, go on ahead, click on that button, see what type of growth and revenue you can achieve by leveraging that tool within Zenoti. And it's other things, not just membership. Maybe it's going to be going down the trend of social booking with book now buttons, anything like that. It's showing, hey, your competitors are doing this. You should also be leveraging this functionality too. And then once you have leveraged it, it's going to show you essentially your growth and what revenue you're realizing with implementing that feature and functionality. It's going to show you your positive and negative trends as well, so where you have room for improvement. So right there within the dashboard of Zenoti, it's called the signals for adoption.
Awesome. And just real quick before we move on and start talking about the specific trends, by the way, if you see it, if you get it, and you will, that's what the report looks like. Thanks, Lauren, for keeping that up. While we take a look at this, why we take it upon ourselves at Zenoti to do this, you can look at that a little bit, but I'm not going to go point by point. I'd rather ask Courtney, what role does data play at Spa Trouvé? How are you guys using data in either ways that Leslie's mentioned or your own ways?
Oh gosh, I'm data obsessed, and I think it's been a key to our success. We have 13 years of data. It started with a daily sales report, which really every single night we reconcile every single category so we can see what we've done per category. And I have data for the last 13 years. And really it's essential to know which areas of your business are growing and which ones are down, and data doesn't lie. And so there's so much value in knowing your numbers and tracking your numbers, and I love that Zenoti provides that data so easily and also has that membership capability implemented into Zenoti, so it's so easy to track that data. But, something else that we've done is make sure that the data shows per category the percentage of what you're bringing in. For example, at the end of the month, we can see, oh, Botox and filler was 60% of our revenue, and skincare was 20% of our revenue, and laser was only 10%. And you can kind of gauge your growth by that percentage of revenue. So it is really, really important.
Tracking your own trends on the spot, so to speak.
Yes.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's great. Let's move on just to set some foundation. We saw a little bit of a slowdown across the industry, thinking of all the segments within beauty and wellness. There was an overall increase in 2023 of industry revenue of a 5% growth, which was a bit of a slowdown. And we list here those segments, business segments, that achieved greater than that, with nail salons leaping out in front. We've got some information about that a little later. But as you'll notice, we identified what the fastest moving growth area was for each of these. It's memberships across the board. It's impossible to ignore that this is working. So with this in mind, as setting the foundation, let's hit the first trend. And it's this. It goes right to the digital experience. Those top earners, that top 10%, also across the board have the highest rates of online booking. They have the highest rates of rebooking rapidly within 24 hours and starting to fill that book. Leslie, I want to throw this to you. These are the points at which you guys can have the conversation without me. I'll actually drop out for a bit. But if you can talk about your take on online booking, how providers are participating in it as well and playing such a huge role.
Absolutely. So we were fortunate enough going back to our Energize conference in 2023 that we were able to identify within the whole Zenotio portfolio the highest earners and the highest therapists and employees with the utilization of their book. What happened to be is actually one of Courtney's providers. Her name is Courtney. She was a superstar when it came to the amount of appointments that she serviced and the revenue she brought into Spa Trouvé. And when you dig a little bit deeper into what is Courtney actually doing, she leverages Zenoti, she leverages social media so that she is actually then, I would say, almost an owner within an organization. She's driving revenue. She's driving people to book online and giving real-time updates as far as what appointment availability does she have? And she's really using the social media with the book now button to drive that revenue. That's one component. But the other component that I know that she's doing is she's talking to people about rebooking their appointment when they're in clinic. So it's twofold that I see. Just me, I'm a few thousand miles away from Courtney, but I can actually see what's happening and what Casey's actual conversations look like within the clinic and then her social media presence online. So really leveraging that online booking is what I see across all of these providers. It's not just when you go into following an organization, it's following them, but also their providers as well. Courtney, do you have any feedback there with what I'm sharing?
Yeah, I think just like you said, encouraging your employees to build their own brand within your brand so that they feel empowered. You know, you want them to feel like their clientele is belongs to them. And something that has really been helpful is upon onboarding, when you're onboarding new hires, help them set up an Instagram page dedicated to your clinic, you know, and make sure that that online booking link is included in their bio. And if you do it on onboarding, then you know it's set up right and you can have that conversation with them, you know, as soon as they are hired. You know, you can say, here, for example, here at Spa Trouvé, we really want you to build your brand within our brand. We want to empower you to book your employees online and service them through DMs and conversations so that they don't have to text you or call the spa, and set that right up for them immediately, and train them to do that. And it really, really does work. So if you see, most of these Spa Trouvé employees do have that booking link right in their bio. And like Leslie said, Casey is the most booked and utilized for a reason. She uses that online booking link during every single appointment. When she hands them her card after their first visit, she says, you know, thank you so much for coming. Here is my Instagram page. This is my booking link. If you have any questions or concerns, please DM me, and uses that as her means of communication. And her utilization is unmatched. It's pretty incredible. So it does work.
Excellent. Love the example too. Um, I should point out that when we're talking, you guys are obviously on the money with everything med spa related, but we're talking about the stuff that applies to salons and to massage spas and day spas. So much of what we're talking about is strategy that can be applied anywhere. We found this, I mentioned two areas of new guest acquisition, and wow, is this one, because 18% of every booked online reservation that comes through Google is a new customer. Think of the way search results work. And we'll show you some examples that are specific to Spa Trouvé. And we're talking about more than just new guest acquisition. Those new guests are actually responsible for 19% of all the revenue. If we go to the next slide. Thanks, Lauren. 19% of the revenue that comes from all the Google book visits. So this is a heck of a tool that's essentially low to no cost. And we have what we call Zenoti Insight, which is a recommendation to jump in and do this. And you'll see actual examples there that include the book online button or a schedule button with Spa Trouvé. And I like to point out, and then I'll give this to you guys. I like to point out that if you look at what's called the local finder, that the example on the bottom with the circle around schedule, there's a local quote unquote competitor that doesn't have that schedule button. And that's a huge advantage for those that do. So Leslie and Courtney, I'll give this to you guys.
Yeah, do you want me to take the lead on it, Courtney?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, so this is a fantastic new feature. We've had it around actually for our spa and salon customers for some time, and then we just were able to leverage this for our med spa customers. So if you're not taking advantage of it, as soon as you hang up from this webinar, please go do this. We have a help article for it, but essentially what it is if you are searching for a business and it's local in your area, like Spa Trouvé. Let's say I am in Orem, Utah. I look up med spa, I see Spa Trouvé, and in that blue button right there, I have that book online button. What that's doing is it's driving me directly to Spa Trouvé's web store. So removing all friction, they're not having to dive deep, go look into the website, find out where that book now button is or anything like that. It's making your booking experience completely frictionless, driving them directly to your web store. So huge win. If you're not taking advantage of it, you should be. It's free to you, and it's just going to help you boost your acquisition and your revenue.
Yeah, and we all know that it's super expensive to get new clients and extremely challenging. It's one of the biggest challenges I face in Salt Lake because of the, intense competition here, and we're in the heart of the valley. So the the easier, the quicker, the more convenient you can make things for your client, the better. And this button really does work. So, and it's free. So I encourage everyone to get it.
Exactly. Exactly. It's an absolute no-brainer. If you've got another business that's not doing it, you already have a win over them because you've simplified the booking process.
Yeah.
Yeah. If obviously we're making it sound like magic. If anyone needs a little walkthrough on what we're talking about here, please let us know in the question box. Leslie or someone at Zenoti will get back to you.
Yeah,
I've
exactly.
worked at other businesses that walk people through what's called Google My Business and the entire platform and how to really optimize what you're doing with Google so that you're getting that attention and then you're converting the attention into the new guests. That's fantastic. Thank you both. So what are we talking about in terms of online booking rates? This is right out of the report. Again, just to share this out with everybody so you can see across the segments what's considered a high rate of online booking, and that's at the top earners versus what the average are doing. And there's an absolute correlation between making more money and having more folks booking on their own with their own convenience online. Um, Courtney, um, can you give us a little take specifically for folks that might be joining us for medical spas? 35%, absolutely a high online booking rate. Everything's relative. A little bit of insight on why that is, why online booking should be considered very successful at that rate for med spas as opposed to what were other segments that we're seeing.
Well, just like you said, it makes it quick and easy for the client. And most clients are emotional purchasers, and you want to make sure that you provide all of the convenient tools so when they're in the heat of that moment that they're booking and buying right away. So it really is important that each of your providers have that online booking link and that on your social media bio you have that online booking link as well. And something that we do quite frequently is just remind people that they can book online. Make sure that there's a button included in all your email blasts. Book online, and it sends them straight to that Zenoti link. That when you're sending out your texts, you can put booknow.spotray.com in every single text blast, and then they can conveniently book through that text. So all of your marketing, all of your social, your email blasts, just get them used to booking online, and that is going to really be uh, help your success rate with that.
Right. Awesome. That's great to know and have that reinforced. And just to close out this portion of conversation around online booking, again, you'll see the relative rates for each of the categories. Great. Let's go to the next trend. Let's skip that. Let's go to the next trend and talk about upsells. We know now from the data that we've culled for the benchmark report that 15% of all industry revenue across all segments is the client or the patient or the guest walking in the door and then having an upsell sold to them successfully once the visit is begun. And by upsell, we're talking about an additional service, a retail product, or a gift card. And here we're really talking about the value of upselling, and you've got an audience that is willing to listen. We know from customer data that 1 in 3 say they will always or usually buy a product that their therapist or their provider recommends, because there are very high rates of trust that we to any med spa or salon. Leslie, what's your experience in when you're consulting, helping the businesses that you work with understand and take advantage of upselling?
Yeah, absolutely. It becomes when you're there and you're in the center, you're there for the service. It naturally becomes an organic conversation. I've already trusted you with my face. You're already touching it. You're putting product on it. You've analyzed my face. Again, speaking to the med spa space, you are going to be the expert that's right there with me to guide me through what products make sense for me directly in that moment. I'm open to purchase. I'm opening to make an investment at that point in time. So it really becomes an organic conversation. Additionally, what happens is, especially to the med spa space, your price per ticket is a higher dollar amount. And so you have, like, let's say if you're going in for facials every couple of months, you want to continue that care and the upkeep in between the visits. So again, it's that organic conversation. It doesn't have to be salesy. It can be very conversational from what I've seen work very, very well. And it's really about the tools that the owner, like Courtney, trains her team on how to have those conversations and drive those packages and products that they should be selling to their customers, and it only makes them a patient or customer for life because it's about the whole entire customer journey from what I see, not just the actual in-center experience. It carries on when they're back at home taking care of their wellness. But Courtney, I don't know right now, Norm, did you have other? I think we had something else though as well about Courtney's. I think we lost you for a second.
Well, I know that we talked about, Courtney had mentioned in the med spa
Beautiful.
space,
Yes.
the form, the treatment to transformation, and this is
Yes.
very specific to med spa, but it does
Yes.
give you, for me, I learned a lot talking with you guys about how it primes the pump to get people, to get your providers ready to discuss other purchase options with your
Yeah.
clients or your candidates.
Exactly. And her point of view was just brilliant.
Yeah, there's a few tools that we have that helps with cross-selling. And the first that I really love is we give the clients what's called a LIPS form. It's a laser injection product and skincare form. And we ask them to complete it prior to their appointment. And it asks them questions. Are you interested in laser services? What products are you using? Have you had injectables? Are you interested in any injectables? What services have you had? What are you interested in? Just so we can gauge prior to them even coming in what they have been treated with and what they're interested. Because sometimes the hardest part for the esthetician or the injector is just bringing things up. That's something I get. How do I bring it up comfortably for the client? And asking those questions prior really does help. And then when they're in the spa, we have what's called a treatment to transformation form, which really the goal is to get them on an annual, a 12-month transform your skin plan. And then it just provides this open conversation between either the esthetician or the injector and the client to talk about what are your concerns? Okay, this is my recommendation on how we're going to get you there. And when a 12-month plan is mapped out rather than just a one treatment, or a short term plan, they're much more likely to buy into the membership and they're much more likely to return to your spa because they see you as, oh, they really know what they're talking about. They're giving me a prescription of products and a 12-month treatment plan to change my skin. This is amazing. So, training those employees and having these templates can be especially helpful. Another thing that we do that I think is extremely valuable is what we call the 3 under 3, where every esthetician is required to offer 3 products or services before the client checks out. And it's just part of their training. Because another thing I struggled with was employees weren't really selling because they were kind of nervous. And when we made it more about the training and, hey, if you don't offer these clients 3 products or 3 service, it's a disservice to the client. They're in here and they want to know. And so we know that when a client is offered 3 things, they're more likely to buy at least one. And when they're only offered one thing, they're more likely to buy nothing. And so really just training them on before they check out, it's a 3 under 3, 3 products, 3 services. It can include the membership. They're audited on it. It's part of what we call our True Bay way. It's just been really key to our success. So I would say those things. Make sure you have, something that's scanning that client and their needs before they come. Make sure when they're in their consultation, they're getting a thorough 12-month plan. and then make sure upon checkout they're really getting offered the products and services that are available in your spa. And those things really do work.
I think I'm going to be talking a lot about the 3 under 3 and just making it sound like I'm really smart. I think that
Yeah.
Thank you, Courtney. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I want to take a little bit of a interruption break, literally 1 minute. Can you guys tell everyone about Energize? Energize 2023 was in Seattle. Energize 2024 is going to be in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Could you guys talk a little bit about the Energize experience?
Oh gosh, I loved it. First of all, I was not expecting it to be as immense and amazing as it was when I walked in the doors. The setup was just stunning, and Elizabeth Gilbert was absolutely incredible. I learned so much from her. But I mean, I've been a part of AmSpa for a long time. I've been a panelist at AmSpa. I'm a speaker in Vegas this year in AmSpa, and it was, to me, it could compete head to head with AmSpa. It was so well done. So I encourage. I know you guys that are new, if you put your heart into these conferences and really look at the classes that you need and start networking with other spas, these can be so valuable. I learned so much when I was first starting out from these conferences about the legal aspects of my spa. You know, I met a mentor that I still talk to and that I call up and ask questions. It's just really helpful, especially when you're growing, to have these types of tools. So I would encourage all of you to attend and really research what you need prior to going.
You're on mute, Norm.
Thank you, and I apologize. Thank you, Courtney. For anyone that is interested and would like to learn more about the conference this year, energize.me, energize.me is the website. If you decide you'd like to join us, we have early bird pricing available live now. So thank you all for considering Energize. Let's move on to the next trend. We've talked about this we've talked about gift card power in other learning sessions, but now we've got the data that really shows what went on in 2023. Online gift card sales has become the fastest growing new revenue channel, 16% growth. We're talking really small in terms of the overall piece of the pie. But the way that we think about it, and you guys can back me up here, the way that we think about it is if you're seeing pretty rapid growth, even in a small sector, it is definitely a reflection of the way customers and clients are responding to something available to them, and it's worth taking a look at. Courtney, I know you guys have very specific, especially as a medical spa, very specific parameters around how you manage gift cards. Can you talk a little bit about that? Again, I'll drop out so you guys can have the conversation, but I wanted to start us there.
Yeah, sure. I mean, like Norm said, gift card sales are growing. And I just wanted to give a few tips because my struggle has been getting clients to redeem the gift card after they purchase. And so we'll see, especially over Black Friday or Christmas, just these immense amount of wonderful sales. I'm not going to complain about sales, but then we kind of see a drop off of the amount of people that are redeeming these gift cards. So a pro tip or something that's really helped is providing a free gift because you can't legally expire a gift card. What we've done is say if you redeem it before the end of January, we're going to give you this free gift. And that's really helped to get clients in. And also just text, keep track of your gift card sales. You can pull a report from Zenoti of who's purchased those gift cards and target those people with the free gift or whatever it is to get them in. But it is a great tool. I like to use gift card promotions during big holidays. Father's Day works really well. Mother's Day, any type of those like last minute when you're trying to, draw people in. Gift card sales work really well.
And I would add that typically when they actually do come in to purchase a service or whatever they're coming in to spend those gift card dollars on, usually customers spend more than the actual gift card value. I believe the metric was around 13%. I've seen at one point in time. Was it more than that, Norm? So
Yeah,
yeah, it's pretty.
Lauren, Thank you for making the switch, Lauren. If you go one more, it's 61% of all
Oh,
consumers,
oh, I'm
even
a
outside of
liar. I'm a
revenue.
liar. Oh, take that. That's
That's
a
okay.
much better number even. So that's fantastic. So yeah, so once you get them in the door to utilize that gift card, you still have an opportunity to sell more to them, which is just a great year. The gift card is just a tool to bring them in the door, and then you take it from there.
Well, we call that girl math, right, Leslie,
Yes,
where they
yes.
think they've already bought. So it really does work. It's amazing, you guys. Like, it's free. So then they end up spending more, just like you said.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you. And there you see the insight. Let's skip this and move over. I apologize, folks. This is a newer version of GoToWebinar today, and we're having trouble accessing our poll questions, but the next time you join us, which will be next month, we will not have that problem. Okay, now let's talk memberships. We saw membership revenue growth based on the data, 8% in revenue growth across the industry. And we predict pretty easily, because it was at about 24% or so, by the time the year is up, 25% of all revenue will be based on memberships across the board. Considering the overall industry revenue was up 5%, membership actually surpassed the growth in retail product sales, in service package sales, and in gift cards. So this is something to keep your eye on. And where is it expanding? The next slide tells us nail salons, huge jump. We've talked to nail salon owners, and they've said you're silly if you don't consider this. This is the trend. This is what people are responding to now. And as you see, waxing centers. We do know directly to Courtney's businesses, we're seeing the share of dollar is shifting in med spa revenue from just core services to selling memberships and selling package sales. If you guys would elaborate this on a bit, Spa Trouvé memberships, you mentioned at the beginning of the program, Courtney, that you guys had started long ago, I think almost 2011 in terms of the first memberships. So if you have any ideas for folks that maybe are conventionally not starting membership programs, if you have any tips on how to start and how to operate.
Yeah, well, we have two types of memberships. So we have a laser membership, which is basically just a financing program. It's 12 months. We debit their card each month. They get 12 treatments. Typically, they only need 8, but we're financing it for 12. And super easy to explain, super easy to promote and understand. And that's really been a bread and butter for our business since day one. But the injection skincare membership is like a beauty bank. It's a layaway program, and I'm sure you are all a little bit familiar with this, but basically there's 3 tiers. The highest tier is called our platinum tier, and they can bank 169 per month that they can redeem at any time. So they can save up that money. So if they're, really wanting Botox and Sculptra and lips, maybe they bank that money away for 6 months and save it for that. Or if they're just those, average Botox users that really want to be consistent with their Botox, they come in and their Botox is paid for at month 3 or 4 with the money that they've banked. But we really celebrate these membership clients. We provide them with the lowest discount on all skincare and product services, and also our lowest discount on Botox. And we're really careful with making sure that these platinum membership clients always receive the best discount. So when we're trying to bring in new clients, we always promote, new client special, 30% off, but platinum members get 50% off. And we do fun little surprises for the platinum membership called Platinum Perks, where they'll get a surprise email. We've done platinum events at country clubs just to celebrate them as our loyal platinum members. And so it just makes them feel very, very much like they're in an exclusive club. And it really does maintain their loyalty. We ran a report the other day of clients who weren't members and clients who were members. And just like this data shows, the clients who were members do spend more. They do spend more, and they're just more committed. So, if you're interested in setting up a loyalty program, I'm more than happy to talk to you more about it. And what I love about Zenoti is you can track all of the membership dollars in the one platform, which is incredible, because prior to Zenoti, I had 3 different platforms. I had one tracking the memberships, one tracking the loyalty points, and then one tracking, that was just the basic POS, and everything is in one thing. So it really is such a great platform.
Excellent. Thank you for the tips and very, very practical specifics, which I'm sure that our audience really appreciates. Now, the last thing we mentioned there was about package sales, a little bit of a transition in med spa revenue to package sales. We're seeing the biggest growth in the spa setting, 5% growth across the industry, as you see there in package sales, and a tiny drop in just individual retail product sales. Um, so next thing we want to take a look at, and then get it back to our experts, is where we've seen that package sale growth. Again, the numbers are all over the place if you think about data, because just like the gift card setting, these are small percentages of the overall pool of revenue for each of these segments. However, when you see an 85% or a 35%, you know there's a trend that's afoot. You know that there is something that your customers are responding to. Guys, any ideas or any input you may have on any of the numbers that you see there? Why membership-based spas may have seen such a huge jump? Thanks, Lauren. We can go back to where you were as well. Or anything that you want to add as we recommend. Think about how you market a bundle and sell that bundle and take advantage of whatever this trend may be looking like over the next year.
Yeah, I think. Oh, sorry, Leslie.
Yeah, I was gonna say for you, because you had a great your concept on knowing your value of a package versus a membership, and really using that to the gateway essentially into the membership, moving from package to membership.
Yeah, we utilize packages for new client promotions, and they're also great cross-selling tools. When I think of a package, if you can package an injectable treatment with a skincare treatment with a product, or a cool sculpting with a product. When I think of a package, I always think of, okay, if I'm going to sell something to the client, how can I give them the optimal experience at Spa Trouvé and create something where they kind of get to dip their toe in all the different services that we offer. So like I said before, we really spoil and try to pamper those platinum loyalty members. And so when we do a package, we think of it as a new client package. Maybe they get 20% off a bundle of 3. Another thing that we do is we package our skincare products, so it makes it easier for our estheticians to sell. We've created what's called the Trouvé trifecta, and it's just a sunscreen, a cleanser, and an antioxidant. And that's the 3 products that we believe all clients who are walking out our doors should be using at minimum. And that's a continuous package that's in our system. And with this package, they also get a free chemical peel. It's just complimentary to them to help them, get onto our books for skincare. And that helps the estheticians sell as well. Because a lot of times, when we're training them on the 3 under 3, or, they have all these new clients aren't sure what to sell them on, we can always say, you know what, sell them on the Trouvé trifecta. Those are 3 products that all clients need, and get them on your schedule for a free chemical peel. And there you go. There's your cross sell into skincare. So just thinking of those packages as, what would a new client want? How can I market it that it will kind of give them this experience at the spa? And how can I ultimately convert someone that's purchased a package into a membership and help them see that there's actually more value in a membership than in just a package?
Right. You guys work in 3s all the time. As a content person, I
We
love
do.
that. It's so solid.
Use my
It's so
sales.
solid.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, those are all the insights that we pulled from our benchmark report. And as we wrap up, we've just got some information to share. Here are some upcoming webinars. We're really looking forward to talking about practical AI that you can add to your business in April. We're going to focus on the client experience in May. And here's a really exciting slide. We've got something where we summarize everything that we've talked about today. If we move on to the next one, And if you've joined us today, if you've joined us and watching this on a recording, you'll receive this. It's a great little sort of checklist of what you can think about for 2024 trends that are already being proven out by the data from 2023 into this year as well.
There's not a ton of success, I would say, with we don't have this like beautiful 100% success rate with people completing that form prior to their appointment. So if they haven't, then we do ask them to fill it out prior to their first consult. So either way, getting that information is helpful. If we get it prior, great, but if not, requesting it prior to the consult works.
Mm-hmm. Great. We're running out of time, which shows how awesome this session has been. I thank you both for sharing as much as you have. Let's end with this question. Do you think this has got to be about Google appointment requests, right? Which we saw schedule, within the local finder requests versus bookings. Does either have its drawbacks? I think I'm translating that question properly.
And I think the question's about requesting a consultation versus, because some facilities
making an appointment.
You'll use more of a jot form to request a service, and then it goes in for. I think the book now and booking a consultation, if that's your workflow, is a better workflow, because then people are more apt to set up that account. Then you've got that lead in the system, and they're booking on their calendar right there immediately when they're excited to book a consultation or book that first appointment. If you're doing a request to book, now I'm not in control of my calendar. I'm waiting for somebody to get back to me, which is you're causing that friction. You really want to do everything you possibly can to have that booking happen immediately and not delay.
Great. Thank you all for having selected, and plenty of you have selected what you'd like from us next, and we look forward to bringing that to you. And thank you, Lauren. We just end with this. If you're not familiar with Zenoti, here's who we are. As I mentioned earlier, when we talked about the benchmark report, we're in nearly 30,000 businesses worldwide. We are the most complete software solution for salons, for spas, for medical spas. We're covering everything in the customer experience. We're covering everything that you would need to do as a manager or an owner. Courtney can give you the details on that if you choose to reach out to her as well. Thank you so much for joining us today. Leslie and Courtney could not have done this without you, obviously. Thank you for the expertise and sharing what you know with our audience today. I hope you'll all join us again. Thank you guys so much. Hope you have a great day.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Courtney.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.